Hi, I'm Bruno from Spain Guru. In today's video, I'm interviewing Ainhoa Manero from Sterna Abogados about the proposed changes to Spain's non-lucrative visa expected in late 2024. Will you really need 4 times the funds to renew? Is there a minimum stay requirements about to take effect? And when will these changes become official? We'll tackle the top questions around the 183-day rule, renewal timelines, financial proof, and more. Ainhoa, can you explain the key proposed changes to the Spanish non-lucrative visa and how they might affect current and future applicants?
Two main modifications. One is the renewal. Before, the renewals were for 2 years. Now the renewal is going to be for 4 years. The other change is the minimum stay in Spain enabled to renew. Before, the regulation said 6 months. That it was understood by 180 days. Now it's clear, 183 days.
What is the reasoning behind the new 183-day minimum stay requirement, and how will it impact visa holders' tax residency status?
Because the main reason is to put together the tax requirements of being a tax resident, and the immigration requirements to renew. Before, you could do a strategy the first year to be 180 days, so you were able to renew the non-lucrative residency, but you not becoming a tax resident because you were not 183 days. Now, the requirements are the same. You will have to be 183 days to renew, so that will make you a tax resident.
There was a Supreme Court ruling that established that the law should be changed in order to demand a minimum stay to renew your non-lucrative visa. Does this proposed changes in the ruling of the law clear this ambiguity?
So no, we are in the same situation. So in Spain, we have ley and reglamento, so law and bylaw, okay? The Supreme Court says that to be 6 months or 183 days, that is now the new requirement, this should be established in the law. And we are saying that this is a reglamento, a bylaw, and they are establishing this 183 days in the bylaw, in the reglamento. So until they don't change the law, this requirement of being 183 days is not applicable, shouldn't be applicable.
So people as of today are renewing their non-lucrative visa, staying even less than 6 months or 180 days. Is that correct?
Correct. The Supreme Court said that this requirement of 180 days, because until now it has been 180 days or 6 months, shouldn't be applicable. And I've been doing renewals for my clients, and we have been approved without being 180 days or 6 months.
So basically, the legislators should create a whole new law and introduce a minimum stay requirements in the law. And this is not happening right now.
Well, maybe not a whole new law, but yes, they need to do an amendment of the law and say that in order to renew the non-lucrative or any other permits that in the reglamento, in the bylaw, establish that they have to be 6 months per year. In the law, they should amend the law and say that that is the requirement, because in the law is not mentioned this requirement.
How likely is that these changes will be implemented by the end of 2024, or should we expect delays into 2025?
I think it's likely that that we have it before the end of the year, because they did this bylaw, this reglamento, very quick, because the government considered that this was urgent. It wouldn't make sense that then they take 6 months, because they could take 6 months from the publishing of this regulation to be implemented. Case is going to be just 20 days. That is the minimum time that it could be implemented for the immigration offices to be prepared. And I think that is going to be the case, that they will give 20 days for this new regulation to be implied.
If the renewal period is extended to 4 years, will the financial requirements change accordingly? And what proof of funds will be needed?
Yes, this is going to be the problem, or that is our main concern. So this new reglamento says that you should show financial means for your new period, and the new period is 4 years. So if you understand this, you understand it as you have to show financial means for 4 years. You know that financial means is money in savings accounts, or also retirement pensions are okay. This is happening nowadays. Now that the renewal is for 2 years, in some cities they are asking for financial means for 2 years, which is not very fair because some other cities just ask for 1 year of financial means. We will see what will be happening now, because now the difference is very big. It's not the same to show for financial means for 1 year than for 4 years.
How will the new rules affect those who are currently on their first or second year of the visa? Will they need to adapt to the new regulations immediately?
Yeah, I think so. So as we said, maybe it's applicable in 20 days. We will know. We think November 12th is going to be published, okay? And we will see when it's going to be implemented. But if it's in 20 days, people that have to renew after those 20 days will have to be will have to prove these new requirements.
Will there be any way to know how much funding proof we need to show when we renew once these changes are applied?
So not really. In the beginning, I'm always going to recommend my clients to be able to show the full amount, 4 years, financial means for 4 years. But it's true that this is going to be a problem for a lot of people, and it's the moment that lawyers and people share their experience, because there will be for sure some offices that they will ask for the 4 years, and some other offices that they will ask for less years because they will be less staff. So with new regulation is the moment in which we do a lot of research with people all over around Spain to see what are the criteria of the offices, because normally they don't want to publish these criteria because they know that they cannot have different criteria. So if, for instance, Madrid publishes a criteria and Alicante publish another criteria, will be very easy for us to go to the court and say that the people around Spain are not are not being treated the same. So that's why they don't publish. And if they don't publish the criteria, we don't really know until we see what they are saying in the requirements or in the resolutions even.
What are the biggest concerns that immigration professionals like you have about these proposed changes?
Well, not being able to really be sure what to advise to our clients, because as I said, maybe in a city they ask for financial means just for a year, even if the renewal is for 2 years, and in another city you prove financial means for a year and they deny it because they say that you are not proving for 4 years. That is not our main concern, because the other concern, the 183 days, I feel very safe because the Supreme Court, it's been clear about that. Okay, so my main concern is the difference between cities if you don't have the financial means for 4 years to renew.
Can you provide insight on how the new regulations might impact the process of obtaining permanent residency or long-term residency after 5 years?
So we have had this problem also with the regulation that is now in place. So now with the new regulation, they give you non-lucrative for 1 year and then for 4 years, okay? And you should be able to apply for permanent residency. But if you have been more than 10 months out of Spain in the last 5 years, you don't meet the requirements of the permanent residency. So you will have to renew again the non-lucrative. And the problem is that this is like an extraordinary renewal. In the regulation that we have now, it's been 1 year, 2 years, and 2 years. And the people that didn't meet the requirements for the permanent residency were granted for an extraordinary third renewal, and there are some cities that even didn't give the third extraordinary renewal. So you end up in a place, if you don't meet the permanent residency requirements, that you need to switch permits. You cannot stay with the same non-lucrative. Now it's going to be the same, I imagine, but if they give an extraordinary renewal, the extraordinary renewal maybe it's going to be for 4 years, so you can be a little bit longer in order to figure out what you want to do in the future if you still not meet the requirement for the permanent residency.
What advice would you give to those currently planning to apply for or renew their Spain non-lucrative visa, given the uncertainty surrounding these changes?
So especially if they don't meet requirements and we don't know yet what are the cities asking regarding the financial means for the 4 years, I remind you that there are more permits. So sometimes you know just one permit because it's the one that you know, but maybe you meet the requirements for some other permits. Maybe you meet the requirements for a nomad or for some other permits. So review all the options on in immigration, because we have several, and every day we have more, because even in these new regulations there are more options to do.